Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamugacchate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay. Any questions, clarifications, or shall we go ahead? Okay. We saw about the state, mental condition of the person who knows the truth, all that he elaborately dealt with. So now he is going back to fundamentals of what is the truth, Now what is the truth? You will find this often. You will talk about the truth, you will go into the goal, you will come back to the truth. These things will keep happening. Okay? In every Upanishad we have seen this. Therefore, in the 8th verse, okay, all revealing what the Atma is. Words are used positively, but some of them are to be understood more as negation. Okay, we will see that. Yaparyang shukram akaya varnam anasviram shuddham apapa vidham kavim manishim parumbhu swayambhu yatha tatyorthan vidadshati bhyo samabhyah. Saparyang. Talking in a masculine gender for a change, sometimes neuter, sometimes masculine. It's this thing. What is the nature of that reality? Paryang, that which is all over. Limitlessness iti. Okay? When you say all over, etc., what do you mean? Limitless, not conditioned by space or time. That's the first thing to know. That means now look at it. What are all the nuances of using one word? You will translate it, all pervading, all pervading. Truth is all pervading. That means it cannot be away from me, number one. It cannot be beyond somewhere else. It should include me. But if it is truly limitless, it has to be me. Otherwise, me multiplied by 1,000,000,000 times will be the infinite, which will make it finite. Therefore, just by using one word, paryang, all pervading, all these nuances have come in. It's all over, not beyond anything. Because it's all pervading, no? Then how can you put it as beyond somewhere? Cannot be beyond anything. Number one. Number two, it has to include me, because otherwise it's not infinite. And if it includes me, it has to be me. It cannot be separate. It's not like a super container that I put everything into it. Every house has one big box where you put all sorts of nonsense and keep. No, the truth is not like that. It has to be me. That means you are limitless. Don't say the Atma is limitless. Then you are making a subject-object divide between you and your Atma. That's like saying you and your soul. I am limitless. Direct teaching this is. Paryang. Even though he put it he is paryang. In understanding what it has to be, I am paryang. Only then understanding is complete. Until then, it is apata jnanam, some general knowledge you are picking up. I am limitlessness. Shukram. Shukra meaning pure. What do you mean by pure? is not contaminated by anything else, isn't it? If I am looking for sand, silica for an experiment, even gold can become an impurity. No? Normally we say in gold there is an impurity of silica or something. But if I am looking for silica for an experiment I want to conduct, then even gold becomes an impurity. Why? It is not silica, I want only silica. So similarly when you say the reality is Shukram, pure, what does it mean? There is nothing other than me. It's a homogeneous whole. There is nothing other than me. That means if you are experiencing anything other than you, it is not real. It's mithya. It's apparent. It's a manifestation. Look at it. Each word has got huge amount of nuances. Parayang Shukram, no. This is me. This is you. Okay. Not only you are limitless, there is nothing other than you. You cannot be contaminated by anything. If there is another reality, you can be contaminated. If there is no other reality, how can you be contaminated? Shukram, okay. Akayam vranam. Akayam. Just because people mistake oneself to be the body and all, that mistake is so strong. Akayam, avranam, cannot be hurt by anything. Avranam, wound, generally taken physical, but also emotional. Akayam, avranam. There is no hurt, pain, guilt in you. In your mind, some traces can be there. Now, here comes a problematic situation. When you are emotionally hurt, you can't say, after all, I am the Atma, now I don't get hurt. Very often, that becomes a denial of a psychological reality. That mind will not understand the truth. All the teaching will come filtered through the hurt and guilt and pain. Therefore, that is why in the Adhikaritvam, Samadama is mentioned. That Samaha involves taking care of your hurt, pain, guilt, etc. Taking care of your emotions. You know, we always give good examples for taking care of emotions. Very nice example. I have been hearing this for the last 50 years or more. The intellect should be like the banks of a river, and the river are the emotions. The intellect should keep the emotions in check. Excellent example. Example is very good. Really, beautiful example. Tell me how. Tell me, how is the intellect supposed to keep the emotion within the banks? Example is very good. I accept it. A great example. But now make the connection between the example and what is being exemplified. That's why I talk about emotions cloud your intellect. Correct. So what do? Should not let the emotions crowd the intellect. You are making a should and shouldn't out of it. It's already happened, now what to do? That's why I remember in that Gita class I did this. Thinking creates emotions. All your emotions are born out of a pattern of thinking. If something happens and I think, how dare he do this to me? I will get angry. If you say, how can he do this to me? I will get sad. So to change your emotions, you need to change your thinking. The river bank is fine, okay? Reva de. How do you apply it? Because if some amount of psychological work has not been done, the teaching will come filtered through all your emotional nonsense. That's why adhikaritam is important. Vedanta addresses itself to an adhikari. Have you done enough samadhama? If you have done, taken care of your hurt, pain, guilt, then the whole thing will work. Then when he says, avranam, you cannot get hurt. You are free from hurt and pain, you will understand it. That's correct. All this hurt and pain is only at the level of thinking and feeling. And I can change my thinking, change my feeling. Therefore, like how I can change the pages of the book, similarly, I can change my thinking and feeling. Therefore, I am free from it. It will be easier to understand. Otherwise, example देके उधर ही अटक जाएगा. I am telling you, I have seen people repeating this for more than 50 years and they are still stuck in the same point. I know them personally. $50. 50 years should be long enough to get over all these things. Now. If 50 years is enough to get Nishtha into Vedanta, Jnanam. 50 years is half your lifetime. Anyway, avranam, anasviram, without your nadis, veins, sinews, muscle, etc., without all that, meaning not the body, ityartha, the body. Shuddham, same as shukram, shuddham, or here, because two words are used, shuddham is using as free from papa punya. Shankara interprets it like that. Free from papa punya. Papa punya goes to the karta bhokta. Karta bhokta is the jiva, the ahankara. You are the consciousness that objectifies the ahankara. You have been mistaken as ahankara. If you mistake yourself to be something else, that's ahankara. Therefore, Shuddha meaning free from papa punya. Apapa viddham.
Swamiji?
Yeah?
Sorry, for Shuddham, can we take it? It's Ajnana Rahitam?
Okay, up to a point you can take it Ajnana Rahitam. Yeah. Then for emphasis, he is saying Apapa viddham. Free from all types of papas also. Because if you are a sensitive dharmic person, important, I have given two qualities, sensitive, dharmic. Then the idea of right and wrong is high in you. Question of doing what is right, doing what is wrong is high. Therefore, if you are dharmic and sensitive, which if you are going to be sattvic, etc., is natural. If you are a good human being, it's natural. Then if you have done something wrong, the sense of guilt is very high. Naturally, because I have done something wrong. I hurt somebody. I cheated somebody. Yeah. If your sense of dharma is not there, ठीक है, सब चलेगा. If you are not sensitive enough, don't care a hoot for anyone other than yourself, then also guilt will not trouble you. Like I remember this person used to keep coming and telling me, I am very sensitive, I am very sensitive. I empathize with people's pain. So one of my friends was an astrologer. So he looked at her chart. Yes, you are very sensitive, but only to your pain, not to somebody else's pain. I mean, the trait is so strong, it is reflected in the horoscope. Normally, these emotional traits are not reflected unless they are very strong. Yeah. Person is kind as a human being is meant to be kind. That is normal. You are a human being, that won't be reflected in your horoscope. But if you are extra kind, then that will be reflected. Anyway, jokes apart, okay, the sense of guilt will be very high. Because we are human beings. In situations, there are times when you will do something which is not correct. You are a human being. Yeah. And the human being is an imperfect being. A human being is a fallible being, can make mistakes. Yeah. Can make mistakes. And that is the problem. If you intentionally done something, you deserved a whack, you whacked him. Because you really think you deserved it. You won't feel guilty. But you whacked him as a reaction, and then you will feel the guilt even more. Yeah. Because the reaction is a mistake there. Yeah. Then you will react to the reaction by feeling guilty, which makes it worse. First reaction was bad enough. Second reaction. So one way, of course, as I always say, psychologically deal with it, and then understand that really speaking, the self is free from all papas. Apapa vruddham. All papa, etc. belongs to karta bhokta. You are a karta abhokta, not the karta bhokta. You are the pure consciousness. Therefore, you are free from it. Kavim manishim. Kavi. Kavi here is used in terms of all-knowing, omniscience. As far as this thing for Ishvara, okay. Kavi, the word can be used for a human being also. When it's used for a human being, it will be used in two contexts. In our regional languages, Kavi will be used as a poet. Even in Sanskrit, it is used as a poet. But Kavi is also used as Kranta Drishtihi, one who has got foresight, who can see the consequences of things happening 5, 10, 20 years down the line, of what's happening today. Yeah. Not like how the share market fluctuates. Share market, everybody is thinking only today, tomorrow, today, tomorrow. A politician is looking only thinking of this election, that is it. A diplomat is thinking 10 steps ahead. A statesman is thinking 25 years ahead. What's going to happen in 2050? I may not be there, but I have to set things in motion for it to happen then. That's the statesperson. Kranti drishti. But here Kavim is used in the sense of all-knowing, Ishvara. Okay, all-knowing. Manishi. Is Manisha here today? The name comes from this Manishi, the Lord of the mind. Okay. Remember, there is a Manisha Panchakam. Some of you may have heard that from me long back. I had done that in some camp long back, Manisha Panchakam. So, the Lord of the mind. Okay. There is a Lord of the mind, Manisha. Paribhu. Paribhu. Okay, is above all this existence. All this existence are nothing but manifestations of Him, Paribhu. Therefore, these forms don't touch the reality. Paribhu is the content of all these existing forms. Paritaha bhavati iti. They are all over. Swayambhu. Because normally when you see a thing, something that is existing, it must have created by some human being or some animal or some insect or by nature, isn't it? Normally when I see a thing, human beings have created it, table, pen, chair, book, etc. Or by an insect, ant hill. nest by a bird, or nature like a tree, planets, nature. So what has created this? Swayambhu, uncreated. It exists by itself. It exists by itself. Swayambhu. Yatha tatyatortan. Okay. Now he is talking about the same reality as Ishvara. It is this reality, he says, Vyadat Shashvatibhya Samabhya. Shashvatibhya Samabhya. All these, the order that exists, this order that exists in the world has been, it is not a inert order. Okay? There is consciousness behind the whole order of things. Therefore, you have always invoked them as deities, presiding deities. Therefore, these presiding deities that sustain this whole creation. So, you can invoke Ishvara as Gravity Ishvara. Why not? Because gravity is order of things. Yeah. Gravity is one of the most important order. Yeah. Right across the whole creation it is there. Sometimes measurable, sometimes not. Value keeps changing. Therefore, all these, that sustains the whole creation. Normally we look upon it as Indra, Vayu, Agni. Therefore, you will find 33 Koti Devatas. Koti meaning important. 12 Adityas, Ekadasha Rudra, Brahmaji, etc. Like this, you will find these are the things that sustain the universe. Koti here is not crore, okay? Koti is important. Okay. Or major. That sustain this whole creation. All of them exist because of this consciousness alone. This consciousness that manifests as Ishvara further manifests as the order. So all that exists, if you are looking at it principles, it's Ishvara's order or material, physical manifestation. So you'll have physical manifestation, manifestation of the order. The order sustains the physical manifestation. As what is there in totality, it is there in your body also. The order manifests as the reasoning, your knowledge, as your mind, emotions, as your energy, as the prana that sustains the body. All this is order. The working of the pranas are Ishvara's order. Unless you interfere with it and create some golmaal. Then samana is not working properly. Why I overloaded the samana. Samana is digestion, okay? I have overloaded it. थोड़ा खाना ज़्यादा ही पसंद आ गया. Yeah.
Swamiji,
Yeah.
Udana takes the remedial action.
Yeah, then Udana will have to take remedial action. Throw up everything. Abhi relief ho gaya. It's all in order, don't worry. Yeah. So if your stomach is upset and you feel like throwing it up, don't control it. Let it be out. You'll feel better. It is the order sustaining, adjusting itself in your body, in your system. Similarly, in the cosmos, the same thing will happen. Too much of carbon emissions, gas, etc. What will happen? The heat that we are experiencing, cut down all the trees because infrastructure development has to happen. You can't save every tree. It's not that you are putting up an ashram where you can save every tree by putting your rooms little bit like this, little bit like that. We are 28 kilometers of road we are building every day. So some trees are bound to fall. No, but then global warming will be there. More urbanization, more warming. Let's all go back to village life then. Yeah? You're ready to go back to village life? We're able to draw water from the well for drinking, cooking, washing, everything. How many of us are ready? And for the sake of prosperity, we have to get more and more people out of farming. That means more global warming. So nature will have to adjust itself finally. So when the warming becomes too much, what will happen? How will nature adjust? You will get a mini ice age. Not the major ice age, a mini ice age. Where global warming will melt the glaciers. So melt the glaciers, more fresh water than salt water. So the heat is not absorbed. Then if the heat is not absorbed, I am simplifying the whole science, okay? If the heat is not absorbed, the currents will become very weak. The north-south currents will be very weak. If the north-south currents are very weak, the whole north and south will start freezing up. The Arctic Circle, Antarctic Circle will extend up to London. It will happen. It's called a mini ice age, not a major ice age, mini ice age. Because some balance has to be restored. Some of it may be characterized by the flipping over of the North Pole and South Pole, magnetic north and south. It's already shifting. It's some 30 degrees off now. No, 22 degrees off. North Pole is shifted into Russia, 22 degrees off from the center, from the North Pole. Nature correcting itself, it's an order of things. Nature doesn't bother whether human beings survive or some species survive or not. It has to maintain the infrastructure. That's the first job of nature. So it will maintain. It has to, that is its job. The survival of the planet is more important to nature than the survival of a particular species. Order, Ishvara's order. Don't see Ishvara's order, all kind, human beings. We are the roof and crown of creation. Deluded thinking. Roof and crown of creation. It sounds nice. It sounds nice, that's all. Yeah, fact remains, this is what will happen. I mean, it's nature correcting itself. It's beautiful. When you look at it, it is beautiful. Self-correcting mechanisms. Excellent. But before this ice age happens, you will ensure that some of the human beings disappear. How? Rising sea levels. Bombay may become like Venice, almost. Or may go back to being 7 islands. Because all the places that get flooded in the monsoon in Bombay are where the 7 islands were joined together. Sundarbans will disappear, Calcutta. Tigers won't disappear, they will migrate. Hey, this is nature. Ishvara's order you want to know, no? Here it is. Yeah, the whole thing is Ishvara's order. Okay. Therefore, you don't control nature. You don't control the order. The order makes it possible for you to live. So it's sensible. It's sensible to work in harmony with the order. Sensible, isn't it? I am an electrical engineer. Does that mean I am shock proof? Put two fingers into the socket and switch it on. Electrical engineer, electricity obeys me. You know? It doesn't work. You obey the order blesses you. With lights, fans, AC, whatever you want. Whatever you feel like using. Yeah. Why? Because you are obeying the order. You are not harnessing nature, you are obeying it. Yeah, you are obeying the laws of nature, but then you will be blessed. It's always like that. It's always like that. So same thing happens across. So when you live with that understanding of the order, I just talked about a physical order, the emotional order that is there, the dharmic order that is there. And there's a dharmic order also, no? Your instinctive recognition of values. There's a dharmic order. Does a 2-year-old has to be taught to be honest? That kid is embarrassingly honest. Yeah, but sometimes confuses imagination with reality, or with his past life memories to this lifetime. Therefore, it looks as if the child is lying. It's not. Yeah. Values are instinctively recognized, but because we are human beings, they have to be understood and assimilated well. That's a different thing, because there is always a clash of values from the universal ethical to individual based. So that is another order that is there. And religious values are supposed to enhance the universal values. But you can't go against the universal values in the name of religion. All are human beings. Therefore, all have to be respected as human beings. You can't have a religion telling no to that. Yeah. If you are discriminating against a human being on whatever basis, it goes against the universal, therefore not acceptable. The universal has to be enhanced, yes. So, ahimsa is a universal value. So, religion may come and extend it, say, hey, no, extend ahimsa, which you recognize for human beings, with human beings, extend it to animal kingdom also. That's an extension. That's good. Acha, if you can do it, it's good. But religion cannot come and say, these human beings, ahimsa should be there. Those human beings you should kill. That is going against Ishvara's order. That's against Ishvara's order. Whoever says it. Yeah. And many religions have said it. Some religions have stopped saying it now, but they did it in the past. Some religions are still saying it. इतना ही फर्क है. Or you can take this ahimsa religion wise to ridiculous extents. I will take a whisk with me, so that before I sit down somewhere, I will remove all the unseen insects from there, so that when I sit, I don't crush them. I won't brush my teeth every day, because if I do that, so much of bacteria is killing. Some religions do that. That is taking ahimsa to ridiculous extreme levels. Common sense थोड़ा रहना चाहिए. I am not mentioning the religions. All of you understand what it is. Yeah. Okay. Therefore, in this is you, the reality. The reality between that I am, Ishvara is one and the same. The same reality is manifest as Ishvara, manifest as me, the Jiva. There is only one reality, one consciousness, I. Okay. That is one verse. Okay. After this. So now if you look at it, the truth has been revealed. Then to understand the truth and integrate it into your life, you need to take care of your mind. But the mind has to be an adhikari. Therefore, there are various ways of doing this. Okay? Remember, it is something finite. Taking care of the mind, getting your mind ready is something finite. Therefore, it can be done in 100 different ways. It is not that there is only one way to do it. Okay? In the Vedic tradition, generally what has been given is karma and upasana. That's the, yeah?
Sorry, you didn't elaborate on these last two words.
Which one?
Shashadipya and Samabhya.
Samabhya, all the deities have been given this role by Ishvara. The whole line I took it together. Yeah. Yeah. He has duly allotted the respective duties to the eternal years. Eternal years meaning the deities. Yeah. So all the deities that I talked about are that. Yeah. So here now, karma and upasana is the Vedic way of doing it. Though I have known people who have never done a karma or upasana in their life in terms of the Veda. No ritual has been done. No upasana has been done. But they were such highly prepared souls that they sat in my class and understood Vedanta so well. Before their death, they all were wise people. Yeah, I can vouch for that because I known them personally. Yeah. One example I can give is Commodore, for example. Some of you know him, some of you don't. Commodore Sunil Rajendra, commander of the Western Naval Fleet during the Battle of 71. Outrang me by 30 years at that time. Then 91, 20 years after the war, came and sat in my class. He has not done karma, upasana, etc. All that he learnt about, all that puja part and this thing, etc. after joining my class, not before that. But he had such a prepared mind. That he would just get it like this. If I elaborate too much, he would get bored because it is already clear for him. He doesn't need that elaboration. Yeah, he doesn't need that elaboration. Yeah. So, well, he got it because of a different life. A life of discipline, a life of commitment, a life of service to the nation, surrender to a higher altar, okay, acceptance of realities, including the death of his son and son-in-law both. What's more difficult for a father than to, or a mother to see the death of your own child and son-in-law both? But he took it all in his stride. It matured him out, not embittered him. How will such a person not know the truth? उसको क्या जाके कर्मा उपासना करने को बोलेगा? Really, I will not be worth my name of a teacher if I said, no, you should do some puja, you should do some upasana. Straight forget all that, come to Vedanta, learn Vedanta, that's it. Yeah. Yeah. If I get him to do karma, upasana, because all this is necessary, then I would not be a sampradaya with. I would be asampradaya with. I would be an orthodox character, not a sampradaya with. But for most of us, general principles, some rituals, some this thing, etc., upasana, etc., become necessary, some amount of it. Okay? We will do all the verses. They are confusing verses. After the end of the whole, all these, I will give you a simple thing, 2-3 steps that you can do. But let us understand the thing as it is said. Remember, this is from Vedic times. So you have to understand how ancient it is and how the whole culture and civilization was so different at that time when all this was said. Okay, so here it goes. Andham tama pravishanti ye avidyam upasate tato bhuyah iva te tamaha yaum vidyaya rata. Andham tama pravishanti, into darkness do they go. Yo avidyam upasate, who do a lot of avidya. What do you mean do a lot of avidya? Avidya here stands for karma. You have to understand contextual meanings. Avidya here is karma. Why? Without avidya you cannot have karma. For karma, what do I have to do? First I have to take myself as a finite person. Correct? That itself, ghora avidya is there. Then I have to say, I need to get this, I need to do that. This will fulfill me. More avidya. No, these are all nitya naimitika karmas, Vedika karma, nitya naimitika. Without any particular desire, I am doing it. Nitya naimitika karmas also have phalam. And what is this great nitya naimitika karma you are talking about? I have not seen anyone doing more than Sandhya Vandanam anyway. Or some small puja they will do, Pauranika. Samhita Danam, Grahapatyam, etc. is what you are supposed to do. That nobody does. But he will say, no, I do nitya naimitika karma. Revade, revade. This is all. Just because you are doing Sandhya Vandanam, you think you are great karma you are doing. Narayana. Swamiji is, always against karma and our habits. You all don't know what karma I have done. Yeah. 100 malas of japa at one sitting, can you all do? One sitting. Then come and talk to me, okay? Can you send meditating whole day? From getting up in the morning to night when you are going to bed. I am not against karma, I am against your conditioning of karma. And that's exactly what the Upanishad is also saying. Those who do karma, avidya, will go into great darkness. Okay. Why? Because what happens with karma? Karma phalam. For karma phalam, the type of karma is Vedic karma, etc., you will have to take another birth. Or you have to go to another dimension. Arey, Patya na, all this is so true. Dekho bhai, dekho, sab sach hai. There is heaven. So much used to drink. I could never touch this on earth, I was not supposed to. But here it is okay. What will happen? You get caught up with the pleasures and things of that world has to offer you. 50 years in that world, you come back to earth, what will happen? What will be your samskaras? Vairagya, Viveka, etc. You will be like this guy I knew in Chennai. Orthodox Brahmin family, does Sandhya Vandanam morning and evening, puts this thing and Namam, everything he puts. But regularly, he used to come to this shop in the evening. And the shopkeeper knew him well. He would just put some money across. That guy will give him a quarter bottle and a glass. Now, shops selling alcohol are not supposed to entertain people drinking there. But this guy was a regular. A quarter bottle he'll finish in 10 minutes. One shot after another shot. 4 shots. Ho gaya kaam. He'll get back into the rickshaw and go home. Sandhya Vandanam. Why? Baba, previous samskaras, he has been drinking soma all his life, 50 years he has been drinking soma in heaven. What do you expect him to do in this lifetime? Samskaras are strong. In this lifetime you are not supposed to. What to do, Swamiji? My boss was like that, He used to make me drink, and now it became a habit. Don't blame your boss, okay? If you are blaming your boss, it's very clear you are not accepting responsibility for your own life. You are an addict, all right. Yeah. Anyway, so andam tama pravishanti ye avidyam upasate. Yeah. Andam pravishanti. Darkness alone you get into. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatare shayanam. Again birth, again death, again lying in a womb. What can you do? You are samsare, bahu dustare. The samsara is very difficult to cross over. Kripaya pahi murare. Out of your grace, lift me up. And Murari is saying, I sent so many guys to you, you don't listen to any of those characters, what do you expect to happen? And now the next statement becomes even better. Tato bhuya eva te tamaha. Greater tamaha, greater darkness. Yavudyamrataha. Who revel in vidya. Here vidya has to be taken as upasana. As upasanas. Mental worship. I don't do all this kayika puja and all I don't do. I only contemplate. Is your mind ready to contemplate? No. Therefore what? Again darkness only. No? At least if you do some ritual, you will get some punya. And out of that punya, the Lord may send a teacher somewhere near. All the way from Rishikesh, a teacher was dragged to Bombay and to Matunga, the heart of karmic South Indian culture. Karmic culture, beautiful culture. Why? Their punya dragged the teacher down here. Go, learn. I am sending you a teacher. Learn. All out, other people came, not from the setup. Not from the setup. Why? Someone's punya brought you. I always notice this. Some people come and ask me, Swamiji, you must start a class here, this, that. I say, okay, Baba, I'll start. And then you know what? All other people come. The people who wanted me to start hardly there. One or two of those characters will be there. All others will come. Then I realize, these people are only nimittas. The punya belong to the other people who are coming. The other people who got me to start the class, they were only nimittas. It's all Ishvara's plan. At least some authentic teaching is available. Okay, theek hai, le lo. And I thought, I'll behave in a simple manner, so it'll be easier for people to relate to me. No, they don't have to put me on a pedestal, this, that, etc. But sometimes that itself becomes a problem. He's so simple. How can he be a teacher? I have to grow wings or what? Or have a halo on my head or what? No, I should say, paisa nahi chhuega. In other words, please put it into my bank account directly. I started that stuff only because of COVID. When people wanted to give me Dakshina, I said, oh, it's okay, after COVID we'll meet, give it to me. No, Swamiji, you have to give it. Okay, your bank account. Because I never used to bother about that. I will not eat this, I will not eat that. ये तो पहुंचा हुआ महात्मा है. किधर पहुंचा खुद आ जाने. Anyway, if you do only upasanas, you will go into greater darkness, he says. Okay. Okay. There are 3 verses in this topic. I have done only one. Okay. This and the next 2 verses form a section. Okay. Anyadeva ahu vidyayam, anyadahu avidyayam, iti susrumadhiranam yetat vichakshare. The result of avidya, karma, is different. The result of upasana is different. Naturally. Iti sushrumadhiranam. This we have heard from those wise people who explain the whole thing to us. Okay. But I'm still stuck up with this idea of your criticism of vidya, of this thing, karma and upasana. Why are you doing it? Here, the answer is in the next verse. Vidyam cha yeta ubhyo saha avidyayam mrityam tirtva vidyayam amrutamashnute. Okay. He says vidyam cha, karma and upasana. Okay. Yet vyo saha, those who do both together. Karma is done, upasana is done. So karma, some rituals are done, upasana, some meditations are done. Both are done. Then what happens? Avidyaya mrityam tirtva. By avidya, mrityuhu tirtva. You go beyond death. Beyond death means relatively, another dimension, etc. And because of vidya, amrutamashnute. Yeah. Amrutamashnute. Here amrutam is relative. Okay. So the whole criticism of vidya and avidya, karma and upasana, was meant not to criticize them, but to ensure that both are done together. That means what? As a human being, karma and upasana has to go together. For a student of Vedanta, karma will give you antakarna shuddhi. Why? Karma is karma yoga. Doing karma, any karma, it is not restricted to Vedic rituals. Now the example given is Vedic rituals. Remember my example before? Prathama Malla Nyaya. If the highest is mentioned, lower is included. So when you do all your karmas with the karma yoga buddhi, whether it's a puja, a ritual, or a worldly action, is done by karma yoga buddhi, you will gain antakarna shuddhi, free from the hold of raga dveshas. You are a human being. You will have some raga and dvesha, but you will not be held by it, you will not be limited by it, you will not be victimized by it. Your raga dvesha only will give a color to your personality. What do you like, tea or coffee? आज का साधु से कुछ भी चलेगा. But you still have some preference. Na? It's my first cup after lunch, I'll prefer tea. No, I already had tea after lunch, I'll take coffee. Oh, it's 8 o'clock in the night. No, then coffee I'll avoid with all the energy work I do. If I take coffee after 8 o'clock, I can't get sleep. So, you will, now look at it. These desires only color your personality. They don't victimize you. By karma yoga buddhi. Then what does upasana do? Antakarna naishalyam, the steadiness of the mind. So when the mind is to be here, it will be here. So the teacher doesn't have to be an entertainer to keep your minds here. Our teacher has to crack jokes, tell stories, all that thing. Why? नहीं तो मन इधर उधर जाता है ना, भटकता है. Big problem when you are listening online. Because his household, 101 things will keep happening. Na? Can you prevent all that from happening? By coming in and asking. सब सब्जी बना दिया, और कुछ बनाना है. Or worse, उद्यम ही नहीं है ना, tomorrow I'm not going to come. Oh my God, panic stricken here. Maid not coming. Yeah, big deal. I mean, this is like, so all these disturbance will be there. So if you do upasana, अंतःकरण नैश्चल्यम, अच्छा कल नहीं आता, ठीक है, परसों आता है ना, हाँ, ठीक है, चलो, be here, fine. अंतःकरण नैश्चल्यम is gained by upasana, because all upasanas, starting from japa, manasa puja, etc., is meant to keep the mind in one field of activity, not shift it here and there. So, if you do both together, I am not talking about Punya Papa result here. I am talking about result for a Vedanta student. Then, Amrutadam Ashnute, you will know the truth. Otherwise, you will say, do karma and upasana together, you will go to Brahma Loka. Amrutam. Yad Gatvana Nivartante. Yeah. Of course, you will have to hang around there for a long time. Then at the end of the Kalpa, Brahmaji will teach you and you will gain moksha. But आराम का जिंदगी है, खाओ पियो मजा करो और कुछ नहीं करने का. You don't have to do anything.
Swamiji?
Yeah?
So,
Yeah?
Here, Vedaha, you should take it as doing rather than as
Huh?
doing.
Beg your pardon?
Vedaha.
Huh? Veda as doing, yeah, as doing. Knowing is used in the sense of doing because
Doing.
all doing presupposes knowing. So it is taken like that. Yeah. It is not taken as just knowing. You know karma means you are going to do it. Otherwise, why are you knowing it? You are not a library gathering information. You are not Google. Gather information and keep. You take information to do something with it. No? Otherwise, you are filling your mind with all useless information. Therefore, doing is involved. So, this is the idea. So, either if you are looking in terms of Punya Papa, Brahmaloka, but Brahmaloka, remember, in Kali Yuga, very difficult. You have to do huge amounts of karma and upasana. Huge amounts. You can't do that much. Can't do. Supposing I tell you, for one mandala, 48 days, only 48 days. You want money, na? For money is important for you. Okay. I'll tell you one thing. Okay. Get a small murti of Devi. Okay. For 48 days only, one mandala. Do Kunkuma Archana. Chant the Sri Suktam. It has got about 15 plus 10, 25 verses. And offer the Archana. Kunkum. And follow it with Kanakadhara Stotram, about 20 verses. 1 month, only one time. How many of you will be able to do it? 48 days without a break. Try it out. Swamiji, can I go to Kuchuguruyar temple and give the money that they will do it for me? 48 days? It won't take long. Half an hour only. Light the lamp, offer this thing, offer some this naivedya. Okay. Half an hour mein ho jayega itna. Of course, some of us do pujas like more than that every day. I know some of you here do that. Yeah. But supposing I say really want big wealth, yeah. Then for one mandala, do 15 times Sri Sukta. First 15 verses to be done 15 times. Oh my God, that will take 1.5 hours. Yep. Karo. If you find that difficult, especially if you are a retired person, probably you could do it. If you are a working person in today's world, you think you will be able to do this? And this is nothing compared to the karma and upasana you need to do to go to Brahmaloka. Many of us who are working cannot even do Purascharanam of a mantra. Let's take something simple, Om Namah Shivaya, Panchakshari. 5 lakh times you have to chant it in 1 year. But after every lakh, you are supposed to do a homa. If you don't do a homa, you have to add another 10,000 times chanting. So 5 lakh times in 1 year. हो जाएगा? You will need 2-3 hours every day. So what I'm trying to say is that it is so difficult to do karma and upasana in Kali Yuga. Therefore, forget Brahmaloka. Take karma and upasana for getting your mind ready to understand the truth. So do them both. How much, etc., I'll tell you when I finish all this. There's a lot more coming in. So how much to be done, etc., as a guideline. If someone can do more, fine. I'll give you a minimum, I'll give you an optimum. Maximum is your desire. With certain cautions also, I'll tell you that. Okay. So these 3 verses together, okay, is talking about the limitation of karma and upasana, plus when you combine karma and upasana, what it can give you. Okay. Think it over. There's more to it, but we'll see that later. Okay. Om Tat Sat.